So, welcome everybody to a very special chat today. We have Elizabeth Wood joining us, who is going to share a little bit of her success story, the succession of you. And it's such a great example. You've heard me say this, that you're never too young or too old to really get this information, get this level of awareness and start creating your dream life. So I'm going to introduce who Elizabeth really is to me in a moment. But first of all, welcome, Busy, or Elizabeth. I'm going to resort to Busy. I know that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today and having this chat.
Thank you for having me and letting me share my story. So yeah, it's great to be here.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. So some of you will know who Elizabeth is, and some of you, this will be the first time that you've met her. Elizabeth actually started as my nanny maybe 4 years ago, and is now my personal assistant and chief organizer. And I'm going to let her share a lot of that story with you. So take us back, Elizabeth, even before you became my nanny. Like, describe your life in your early 20s, where you're at, what was going on before you found me and before you invested in the coaching program with me.
Yeah. So before I met you, the moment I turned 18, I started traveling. So I set off around the world and started backpacking. And I probably didn't get back home until I was about 22. So 4 years of traveling. And yeah, got back and thought, what's next? What's next for me? So yeah, I thought I always wanted to travel all throughout high school. And that was, what my plan was, and set off and did it. So yeah.
And you were a nanny in the UK, right?
Yeah, that's right. I got a call from my friend. I was over in Cambodia at the time, and my friend said that she was finishing up with this family in London and was wondering whether I wanted a job. So yeah, did the interview over there, and a month later flew over to the UK and began a job with a lovely family in London. So I was over there for 2 years, which was great.
So good. And then you came back to Australia, and you weren't home long before you heard about the job going with me. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It was probably about 6 months. I had gone over to South America with my brother, who is your videographer, Pat.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a job and thinking, what do I want to do? And Pat said, well, I've got my client who's absolutely lovely, and she's looking for a nanny, and it just worked out perfectly. Right place, right time, and just set it up. It was great.
That's so good. And so tell us, like, maybe you weren't really thinking about it at the time, but looking back to where you were before, because obviously, you did start to work for me and you worked as a nanny, but at that point in time, you weren't involved in actually really anything to do with the business, nothing to do with the coaching program. What was going on for you? What sort of like challenges, problems, frustrations did you have as a 22-year-old back then?
Yeah, I mean, it's when I first started with you, I really didn't have any idea really of what you were coaching at the time, and I slowly began to just listen to more and more and be like, wow, what is she teaching? This is awesome. And so I mean, at the time when I first started working with you, I didn't really understand my sense of place in the world. I think I kind of got back and I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and didn't know where I wanted to go. And I was also grieving over one of my best friends. He had just passed, and I just really had lost, I don't know, myself, I think, and I didn't really know what to do. And the more and more I kind of heard your coaching, I was like, this is really interesting. And it was just such a whole new world that opened up for me when I began to understand it.
And so obviously there's a lot of changes, but from back then to, when you, let's say like the first 6 to 12 months of being in the coaching, what sort of changes did you start to notice as of really being in the coaching, not just hearing about it, not just listening to me on the sidelines, like you actually really did get into the coaching, you invested, you got in, you did, like, what changes did you see once you really locked in?
It was it happened for me, I just began to notice so many different things around me. I was attracting so much good into my life when I began this coaching. And when I first started, I was attracting, before the coaching, I was attracting some unhealthy relationships in my life, and that was due to old paradigms that I didn't understand. I didn't know I was doing that. It was all happening subconsciously.
Yeah.
And when I began the coaching, I started to realize, and my level of awareness started to grow. And I thought, wow, this isn't good for me. And all these different things, and where I wanted to go, I wasn't really putting myself I wasn't really putting myself on a pedestal in a way. Like, I wasn't really giving myself any credit. And began the coaching, it really, for me, it helped with my self-confidence greatly, my self-image, really helped me decide what was next for me and actually what I really wanted to do, because I didn't have that self-confidence beforehand to decide for myself what to do.
Yeah. Amazing. And tell us about some of the specific results you've got from the coaching.
Right. Well, I think, it was about the first couple of months that I started the coaching. We went for a walk down at the Wynnum foreshore, and and you had asked the question. We just stopped, and you asked the question, and you're like, what do you want to do with what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, oh my God, like, what do I want to do? And you said, if anything was possible, what would you like? And I thought, I would love to buy a house. I would love to be a homeowner. But for me, just like with friends and the media, it was like, it's impossible to buy a house. Like, it's just impossible. So in my mind, I thought, it's impossible. But that was that. But I thought, yeah, that's what I would love to do. So I made that decision there at Wynnum, down at the foreshore, that I wanted to buy a house. And that was about 10 months before I bought my first house.
It's so incredible. And so how did the coaching help you with that?
For me, it was all the coaching, really. What I loved about the coaching was I implemented it every day, with writing out exactly how I wanted, what house I wanted to attract, how I wanted to live, and just taking that time for myself. It began to like manifest in my life. And I thought, I really wanted a house that, felt, for example, like 3 beds, 2 baths, like felt like it was, you walked in and the sun was shining, and I had a dog in the backyard running around, and it brought that image into my head, and I began to live it even before I had the house, and which pretty much and now I'm in that house, and I've got that dog, and I've got this and that, and it just helped me greatly before I even got the house to live that life. And yeah, just kind of, just be generally just so much happier. And it just gave me the tools to know what to do and how to get it, and to be calm and expect it, because I was already there. And it just all came to me.
From when you started the coaching, you set the goal to buy your first house, you said 10 months later?
Yes.
You actually went from an impossible goal to owning that house. And at what age? I mean, this must have been a crazy idea for all of your friends to watch you do that, right?
Yeah. So I think when I made the decision, it was a couple of months before my 22nd birthday. So I was about 21. Yeah. And then I bought the house. I think, oh gosh, I think I was 22. I was 22. So it was a few months before my 23rd birthday. And I wrote in my journal the day I got home from Wynnum, saying I want to be a homeowner before I turn 23. So it was, about four months before my 23rd birthday, I bought the house.
Amazing. Such a great story. And now you've got a second house. So tell us about that, how that has come about. Tell us that next succession story.
Oh my goodness. So once I got the house, I was like, okay, what's next? Like, let's bring thinking into results into this. And I had to set my next goal. I had to think of something ridiculous because I wanted to live that fantasy. So I thought I would love to be a homeowner of 3 houses before I turned 30. So I had another 7 years to buy 2 more houses. Well, 7 years. I just started. I went straight to my broker and I said, okay, this is what I'm doing. Let's figure this out. How am I going to get there? And he gave me he was like, okay, like, this will be your plan. Like, okay, like a bit crazy, but we'll give you the plan.
I love that.
Yeah. And it all just kind of manifested from there. I started going to open homes. I started visualizing what I wanted again, how I wanted, my tenants and, just things like that I wanted to see for myself. And then, it just kind of, the money came and it just worked out perfectly in the end. So wow. I bought my second house in March this year before my, I'm 25. So 2 years after it was 2 days. It was exactly 2 years after my first house that I bought.
2 years and 2 days after your first house, you bought
2 years and 2 days. Yeah, that's it.
So with that trajectory, you'll have 4 or 5 houses by the time you turn 30. So I'm still at Elizabeth to update her goal.
I know.
It's such a great example, of when you get into this and you take the time to invest a small amount of time and money in yourself. I don't know too many 25-year-olds that have got 2 properties in the Southeast Queensland market right now, but you do because you took the time to make that decision a few years ago and start then, not wait, not rule yourself out of this opportunity because you were too young or the cost or anything like that. So, it's such a phenomenal story. Now let's talk a little bit professionally about how you've gone from nannying to being my personal assistant, chief operating organizer, everything in an international company. And we've never really spoken about this specifically. What has that been like for you? Because people would kill to have your job. What did you have to work on within yourself, and how did working with me and the coaching, you had to do the work to get yourself into the role. What's that transformation been like for you?
It was just, again, like I feel like that when I got the nannying job, that right place, right time, I felt like now it felt like the right time for me. And I felt like I was so ready in myself to go to that next level and to keep learning. And because I had been in childcare since I was about 18. So it's been about 8 years, and I was ready for that next level. And I'd always kind of in the background done little bits and bobs for you with like social media and stuff like that. And started slowly picking up more and more. And I was like, this is actually, I really enjoy doing this. And I think it just naturally progressed into that. And I've found it so interesting as well, being able to, expand my knowledge and learn about the industry as well. And being able to work closely with you as well has been so cool. Like it's been awesome. So no, it's been great.
And such a, we talk a lot in the coaching, and I teach a lot of people about making that paradigm shift, and particularly that self-image paradigm shift. And that's exactly what you had. Sandy Gallagher had to do it, going from being a lawyer to working with Bob in the personal development industry. Your self-image was all tied in around childcare, coming into a coaching business in that role. Was that challenging? Was it enjoyable? Like, what's that self-image paradigm shift been like for you professionally?
It's been exciting for me. It's also been scary because I feel like I'm a bit more of a reserved person, and I've had to step out of my comfort zone when it comes to this stuff, and I've had to reach out to the people, and you have to connect, and you have to be, you're always there supporting the clients, and always answering the questions, and it's very different from what I'm used to, but it's been exciting learning all these different things, and being able to work on that self-image of showing up and being in that energy that you want people to you want to leave people with that impression of increase, and learning all of those things has been awesome. And I've always kind of, with every new job or with every new venture, I've always gone in and just just learn as I go, and always been open to it. And that's definitely been something that this is definitely something I've always been open to. And I love learning as I go as well. And just confident, the confidence is just growing and growing as I go. So I'm loving it.
That's so good. Now, I know people will want to know, you have done a couple of trips with me to the States. What was it like to meet Bob Proctor and also Gina Hayden? You've spent some time with Gina since. She's been mentoring you in your role here with me. What was it like to meet Bob Proctor and Gina over in Toronto?
Yeah, that trip when we went over to Toronto was incredible. I was telling like my family and friends about it for weeks after, like, guess who I met. I shook hands with Bob Proctor, and like I was just like, do I want to wash this hand? And I was like, but it was awesome. Like being in the same room, being in that energy it's hard to describe, because his level of awareness was just beyond. Like it was awesome. That was really cool. That was definitely a highlight memory I think I'll take with me. And Gina, we hopped on a call a month or two ago, and just had a chat about just this ways of leveraging and servicing, being the best personal assistant we can be. And she was just mentoring me through that, as well, as she's been Bob Proctor's personal assistant for better 30 years or so, I think. A long time. So she went into her stories of how she first met Bob, and it was really special. And she was just so lovely. And it's so good to be a part of this community and to know this material. And it's just like, meeting these people, it's just, you want to continue to be in that energy, and you want to keep working with these people. It's awesome.
So good. All right. So what would you say to somebody who is watching this and is on the fence about investing and enrolling in Thinking into New Results with me?
I think I've mentioned this before, but it's hard to put, like, what kind of price would you put on attracting, better relationships, more money, being happier, healthier? What kind of money would you put on that? And it's such a small investment when you think about it like that. And this material you take with you for the rest of your life. And you gotta start. And I know it's scary. Like it is scary, just like anything. I've definitely gone through moments with, buying the house or the second house, or going to next levels of doing things. It is scary, but at the end of it, it's just so rewarding. And I think everyone's been through that before. Like when you're out of your comfort zone, you get scared, but it's just, that's growth. And you got to invest to grow, and just do it. Just start. It's so worth it.
It's so good. Such great advice. Well, thank you so much, Busy Elizabeth. I call you Busy. Everyone else, when you get to know her, you'll call her Busy too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much and taking the time to share your wisdom and your success story with everybody. And if you're watching this, you can reach out to Elizabeth on concierge@karenbrook.com.au. More than happy to help you anything or help you get started in the coaching. So thank you so much, Busy. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you do. And appreciate you.
Thank you, Busy. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.